I wasn't supposed to do this, bro. I wasn't supposed to be successful, bro. My dad, he spent 18 years of my life in prison. We grew up in poverty, bro. Like we come from nothing. Like I come from nothing. I've been shot at. I've been on the streets as a teenager, ate out of dumpsters, high school dropout. You feel me? Like I've been stressed out, depressed, you name it, bro. And it's like, how did I get to a point where now I'm successful enough to get on the chart and pass a challenge? You know what I mean? Like for the year of 2024, my goal was to do a challenge. I thought I was going to be able to do one challenge. My goal was to pass one, but I ended up getting four. So this year I plan on doing, at least, hopefully, if God say the same, I'll try to get at least 300K, up 300K in funding, bro, and take it to that even further.
All right, folks, here we are on Trading Nut. Now, last week we had somebody who'd been trading for about 15 years, very experienced trader. Now, we're flipping the switch here this week, and we've got Ryan Johnson on, who's at the start of his journey, but he has passed a number of funded challenges, is on his way to his first payout, and probably a lot more relatable for you guys who are in the same position or trying to get to that position. So, Ryan, welcome to the show.
Man, thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate you.
Well, look, I mean, you've obviously been through the ringer here with your journey. We're going to hear all of that journey, how you got started as well as what it took you to get to the point of consistently passing challenges and on your way to your first payout. So, Ryan, let's start off with your journey, which I know is quite a story. So how did it all start, like from the beginning of life all the way through to you becoming a trader?
Man, I started off with YouTube. Adam Koo has a introductory video that talks about Forex. It talks about the fundamentals of Forex as far as, the terminologies and stuff like that. So one day I was at work and I was like, man, I made my mind up. I said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it, but I'm going to take the educational route because by me not getting with my cousin, there was no resources that he provided to me for me to learn anything. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to get into it on my own and, go that way. So I got into YouTube. Then I got on Udemy. They have like a lot of courses. So I bought maybe 15 different courses.
I mean, it's a lot of education there. I mean, most people will sort of take one or two courses and expect it to sort of, reinvent everything that they're doing and fix their trading. I mean, so how did you take all of that knowledge, which I'm guessing is conflicting at points, and put it all together into something that was going to work for you, or at least sort of, I suppose, to see some kind of results on the market?
Right. Well, the thing about it is you have to compartmentalize the education. With Wall Street Academy, that was more like swing trading. So it was really not much I got out of that. And I'll tell you this, it's not because it's not valuable. It's because your level of understanding, going into this stuff with no mentorship, is like going in a circle, man, and you're hoping that something clicks. Once stuff started really making sense to me, that's when I was able to take it all, make it into a strategy that really is a proprietary strategy that I made, that it's all there. It's all there, and it works for me. And I'm going to share it with the viewers too. So you'll get to see how it's like having the training wheels on, but it takes discipline, in order to run it.
Hey, start trading Forex indices and commodities with up to 800K of Blue Guardian's capital risk-free. Just pay a small one-time fee to take the challenge, hit a profit target and get funded. Then keep up to 90% of your profits and enjoy fast weekly payouts. Now, for futures traders, Blue Guardian Futures offers up to 450K in funding with 100% profit on your first 15K. With low targets, no activation fees and unlimited resets, it's one of the best deals in the industry. Visit blueguardian.com or blueguardianfutures.com to start trading today and grab their limited time discount code. It is interesting, isn't it? It's like, I mean, it seems to be there's levels, right? When people come into trading and they kind of think, okay, I'll just learn a strategy and then just apply it and happy days. There are definitely levels to it that people need to break through to get to the next level. And it's kind of hard to explain what these levels are or how they even affect somebody or how somebody even passes a level. It kind of doesn't make sense. It's weird. I mean, did you find that at all?
Yeah, I mean, man, I've been through a lot with trading. I mean, it was days that I even cried, man. Like I used to do like the hundred bucks. I used to take like $100 and flip it to like 1,000, stuff like this. And it was times like I would get in the trades, I wouldn't use a stop loss, and like I would just lay down and go look. I'd be looking at the trade, basically just blowing the account, and I'm like, I done had some days, bro. Like that is like but I already knew it's like you can't give up, bro. You can't give up. I can't. What else am I gonna do, bro? Like I don't have. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, man. One of the worst, dangerous cities, in the country. I grew up in that environment, and it's like that taught me, like, bro, you can't give up. You know what I'm saying? Like there is no giving up. So once I realized it's okay to take a loss, bro. Take a loss. Take a $400 loss. Take a $500 loss. But the gains that I was making, I'm like, okay, I'm making 15, $3,000 on one trade, and so why cry about a loss, bro? Like just take the loss, and and discipline is something that I've been working on too, just in general, man. The word discipline is very powerful because a man told me, he said, man, motivation without discipline is not really much of anything. You got to be disciplined. So my goal was my goal was to just become more disciplined and let it reflect in my trading because I didn't want to be the person like, oh, I'm taking signals. Um, you know, I'm not taking it serious. I'm just in it for the money. I'm in it for the money, but the education comes first.
Mm.
So if somebody ever meet me in person, they say, well, man, I want to trade live with you, or I want to see you trade live. I want to see how you market the charts. I want to be respected for that as a real trader, not from a person that made money, but you're not educated on how to really trade in real life.
Yeah.
So
The other thing you talked about was like, finding it hard to take a loss. And I think that's also goes back to the whole mindset thing of people just your ego stepping in at that point,
right,
and
right,
you're not wanting to lose because nobody like plays sport to lose, right? They don't
right.
do something to lose. They don't start a business to lose. Everyone goes in to win. So taking that loss is a hard thing to do. I mean, what helped you overcome that?
Man, the best loser win is a book. Is one of the trading books that I've invested into, and they talk about taking losses.
That's Tom Hugard, yeah.
I
Is that
believe so.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and just understanding that if you the type of person that say, well, hey man, I don't want to take a 1% loss or 2% loss. I just take the 100% loss. I lose everything. The mind, the psychology of that is just it's a losing approach. You know what I mean? And it's something inside of you of inside of any trader. Because like I say, some people have the luxury of having good mentorship. Might be an uncle, family member, friend. But for me, man, it's been a blind man shuffle since day one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So people like me, we have to be accountable, self-aware, bro, because without that, you never gonna get nowhere in life. It don't
yeah.
matter what you try to do. If you want to be a trader, you want to be whatever, a firefighter. I mean, you got to have the right approach, and that's the conclusion I came to. Is if you don't change some things, bro, you're not gonna ever be successful. So some of the people that I've talked to, like Druzy Banks, we used to communicate via Instagram, and he used to tell me, man, stay with it, bro, stay with it. And it's like if I look at his success, how can I ever get there? You know what I'm saying? Like with this approach, it'll never work, bro. You're always gonna be going in a circle. You're on a hamster wheel, going nowhere.
Mm.
So I had to come to the realization: if you want to be successful, you have to make some changes. But the kind of person I am, when I think that way, my brain works overtime, thinking of ways that I can fix something that I know, that I screwed up on. I used to buy at sell at support, stuff like that. I'm on the opposite side of trades. It's like, bro, like, being intimidated by the higher time frames. Don't want to look at the 4 hour time frame. don't want to look into the daily chart, don't want to look into the weekly chart, getting stuck on a 5-minute, 1-minute chart, 15-minute chart. And then, just not understanding that, bro, without looking at the higher time frame approach, you can't execute the way you want to execute. So once I understood that, let me make the macro time frames my best friend, and I'll execute on the lower time frames. I know, I could hold a trade for 8 hours. You know what I mean? And that really helped me out a lot.
Yeah, there's like one thing I've sort of realized is over the time is there's no shortcuts, right? So if you're thinking, well, I want to trade on the 5-minute, but I can't be bothered looking at the hourly, daily, 4-hour, whatever.
Right.
I'll just ignore them. You will get chopped up eventually, right?
Yeah.
Because it'll work for some periods of time, and then all of a sudden the higher time frame will take over and just screw you up. And it could be that you're in a trade. It could be that you just entered a trade and you've entered literally on a higher time frame level where everyone on the higher time frame is going, right, I'm going short, and you're like, oh, here's my setup on the 5-minute. I'm going long, and bang, straight out for a stop. Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Black Bull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Black Bull Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. That's right, get either the Essential, Plus or Premium plans absolutely free, and all you need to do is trade from one lot a month at Black Bull Markets. And you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below. Now, what about so you obviously landed on the strategy that, is proprietary to yourself. You pulled from all sorts of courses. We're going to see it on the channel here in the next video. Now, how did you confirm that this strategy was the one to go for, and you stopped tweaking it, and you got confidence in it, all that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's basically it's basically ICT concepts. I see a lot of riffraff about ICT, about the guy, he's this, he's not successful, whatever they say about him. But I see a lot of people make content indicators based around his concepts, and his concepts do work. But it's a matter of understanding the concepts. There's a bunch of indicators on TradingView. I mean, if a person could put them on a chart, it don't mean you understand what you're looking at and how to execute based off of that indicator. So, like I said, as things started to click with me, I just found, ways to just make it more simpler for me, because you'll see on the chart, bro.
But how did you get the confidence in that strategy? What did you do?
I just kept applying things and tweaking things, and it was working. It was working for me, and I'm like, okay, if I wouldn't have did this, I wouldn't have knew that. That's the of the last 8-hour candlestick. Let's say that was the low of that candlestick, so that's a strong demand level. And let's say I get a sweep from, let's say that was an Asian session candle. Now we're in London. I get a sweep. I have confidence, in my trade. If I see a setup to buy it, and I buy that market, hey, I'm confident in that trade, based off of the parameters that I set around the stuff that I learned. It's not nothing new. It's just the way I frame it. I can see it all in real time.
And so did you back test for a significant amount of time?
Oh yeah, definitely back tested. Forward testing too sometimes, just not being in a live market, but just marking stuff up, see how the market reacts to it, to see if I would have been right about it. So I do forward testing too, and back testing.
And so the back testing, I mean, how much back testing did you do to go, okay, right, I think I'm happy with it now?
When I was doing a mentorship, I normally do a whole month. So let's say I cap off a month, and I just look at the structure, mark everything up. Because when I was in the mentorship with Ray, that's what he had me do. To learn market structure. But learning you have fair value gaps, you got order blocks, you got support and resistance, supply and demand, inversion fair value gaps. You got Quasimodos, head and shoulders. I mean, it's all type of stuff that, the more tools you have, bro, the more you can execute in the market. So I'm at a comfortable place now, and I do all my trading by myself. That's what I wanted out of this whole thing, was to be independent. I still have the support from I have the TJFX live trading room, but you know that's just something that I have. But I always want to be independent, bro. So yeah.
And so, do you want to talk us through? So you dove into the funded accounts, prop firms, and that side of things. I mean, do you want to talk us through how that all played out and why you decided to move to prop firms versus personal capital?
Well, first of all, personal, the prop firm just make more sense, for people, that don't have a lot of money, 50K or 100K sitting around, go with the prop firm. And I'll tell you, my boy Jordan over at TJFX, he played a big role in me actually taking my first challenge, because it wasn't the fact that I didn't know how to execute in the market. It was the fact I didn't have the confidence to say, hey, I'm going to sign up, I'm going to get in there. And he was like basically like a trading psychologist to me, because he'll let me know, like, bro, you only could lose. I mean, like, what else like can happen to you? You only can either lose or, win, or, if you do lose, just go back to the drawing board, see where you messed up, and come back. And ever since I executed on that, that's how I got my first challenge completed. And right now I got four certificates, and those are like gold medals to me. For a person, let's say Usain Bolt, he won a gold medal in the 100 meter. To me, those certificates are like a gold medal to me, because I wasn't supposed to do this, bro. I wasn't supposed to be successful, bro. My dad, he spent 18 years of my life in prison. We grew up in poverty, bro. Like, we come from nothing. Like, I come from nothing. I've been shot at. I've been on the streets as a teenager, ate out of dumpsters, high school dropout. You feel me? Like, I've been stressed out, depressed, you name it, bro. And it's like, how did I get to a point where now I'm successful enough to get on the chart and pass a challenge? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's just that's why I like to help people, bro. Because some people need to know that no matter what you're going through, you can definitely overcome if you got the right mindset and the right people.
Yeah, it's a fantastic story. Now, what about like those guys that are thinking, right, how do I get to where you are? I'm passing funding challenges, on a regular basis and looking for payouts. Have you got any advice for aspiring traders?
Man, the best advice I can give you is to think independent. You can be in a group. A lot of people like to be in groups and they like to feed off the group, but you have to feed yourself. You have to educate yourself. You have to put time in to cultivating and evolving as a trader. You can't just depend on somebody just because they're there. If you don't learn how to fish, how can you eat? You feel me? Like, if I give you something to eat, that's something you can eat for the moment. But if you can fish, you can go get your own fish, and you can clean it and cook it and eat it, and you'll eat forever. So, a lot of people, they like influencers and stuff like that, and people buy into, and buy into the person instead of thinking about the actual education. Think about your education and where you want to be at 3 to 4 or 5 years from now, and understand that it's a treacherous journey, man. Especially if you don't have support, if you don't have a mentor, man, it's gonna be a treacherous journey, man. You're gonna bump your head more times than you can handle it. But guess what? You gotta stay with it. You gotta stay with it, and that's what I did, man. It's crazy when I think about it, because I'm like, man, this. It took a lot out of me over the years, but it was like, man, I know that I don't have a choice but to do it. It's like, what else am I going to do?
I mean, I think you're right there in terms of it. It's definitely, and I think a lot of people get siloed when they start out and go, right, if I just learn this, then I can start trading and I'm going to make money and happy days. Now,
Right.
if it was that easy, everyone would be making money and the whole market thing wouldn't actually work. So.
Right.
I think if you went into it with the mindset of, I'm going to go in expecting to learn something and then tweak from day one, right, from day one. I'm not going to accept until I get to the point where I'm like, okay, this kind of seems to be working. That's almost like the roadmap. There is no straight journey. It's got to be, you're tweaking the whole time until you get to wherever you're feeling like, okay, I'm starting to see things change. All right, if it's starting to change, then maybe I'll stick with this. So you've obviously got to the point, and we're going to get into your stats in a second, but you've got to the point where you've stuck with this proprietary approach you've got. What are you looking to improve it or change it or anything like that? Or are you like, oh man, this is it, I'm never going to change again, it's all about discipline now?
And that's the fun thing about this industry. If you take the educational approach, you're always a student for life. You're a student for life.
Hey folks, just jumping in here quickly. Now, if you're looking to trade dynamically, you want to learn from my own trading mentor, JJ, then what you need to do is click the link in the description, register your interest, because we're going to be launching this Dynamic Traders Club very soon and you don't want to miss out. All right, let's dive back in. So what about, like, I mean, obviously you're continuing to learn, right? So how do you integrate that into, or anything you've learned that you think, okay, well, this is actually quite good. How do you personally integrate that into what you're doing now, so you don't like trip yourself up or send yourself back to square one?
Right. That's the thing. Like, from all the courses that I've taken, I've always took a piece of something from each one. And like I said, you take the meat, you throw away the fat or whatever. The stuff that you already know, that's fine and dandy. Just, put it to the side. But the stuff that I know that works, that my brain comprehends when I see it on the chart, is like eye training. It's like mental memory. Like kind of like a mental memory, to where I can't really forget this stuff. Because it became a part of me over time. But if I see something that I know can benefit me, I will try to incorporate that into what I do to make myself better, because that's the goal, is to get better. And if I see something and it's not beneficial, I mean, I just pass it on by,
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. My own mentor, JJ, was like, because I had this predicament of, I would see things all the time, right? And I'd be like, okay, I'm trading this strategy, but I've just seen that this is happening all the time, and I could easily trade this as well. And I was like, what do I do? And he goes, basically, master the first one.
Exactly.
And when you've mastered that, then you can start on the second one if you want to start on the second one. But don't start on the second one until you've mastered the first.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, that's a great way to approach it. So I can now just forget about all this other stuff that I'm saying, focus on that one, master it, and then layer on. And he goes, what he's done over time is layered and layered and layered to the point where he's got about 25 different strategies. Exactly. And it means that you can, instead of waiting a whole day for 2 setups, you're now seeing 12 setups in a day, 24 setups in a day.
That's what I want to do, is that, having that toolbox. You can trade a trending market. You could trade a ranging market. You just got to know what you're doing. I mean, if you know what you're doing, I mean, it's just that simple. Let's say we on a 15-minute chart, the market is ranging. We got a decent sized range. I'm gonna go to the lower time frame, the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, to get a reversal pattern that I like at resistance to sell it. Let's say I get a pin bar, I get a bearish engulfing with an imbalance. Price comes in 50%, may fill in all the way. I get a signal that price is rejecting and it's going to go down. I'm selling this. That's simple. But the same rules apply in the trending market. And one thing I realized, and I'm still learning, is that don't overcomplicate this stuff. Like, it's really like, once you understand the frameworks of the time frames and understand the supply and demand, understand the market structure, don't overcomplicate it, because you're not going to be right all the time. And I had to tell myself, like, bro, like, you're not going to be right all the time, bro. You're hurting yourself by trying to be right all the time, and like I say, man, and I had to do that because, I don't have the money. I didn't have the money to, to where it's like I could pay somebody to talk to them every time I need to talk about something. So it's like I had to get to the point where I had to be my own coach, and say, hey, bro, you got to chill out on that, because you're going to be in trouble. Like, you're not going to get nowhere. So
Yeah.
for the year of 2024, my goal was to do a challenge. I thought I was going to be able to do one challenge. My goal was to pass one, but I ended up getting four. So this year,
Nice.
I plan on doing, at least, hopefully, if God say the same, I'll try to get at least 300K, up 300K in funding, bro, and take it to that even further, even further.
You did remind me of something there, which was around the stats of if you are especially taking a loss, right? So especially taking a loss, even if you've got a strategy that's winning, 60, 70% of the time, there's a chance you could have something, and I can't remember the exact stat, but something like 7 or 8 losers in a row, maybe even 9, right? With a percent win rate of that, a 70% win rate, you could still get that amount of losers in a row, which means you've got to be able to take them and just carry on. So going back to the stats and to wrap the show up, do you want to give us some highlights in terms of, I'll ask you a few things, you just reel them off. So the first one is your risk to reward ratio. Do you have one, and what is it?
Mostly, 1 to 3, mostly 1 to 3. So on TradingView, I use templates. I feel like maybe a lot of people don't use the templates to their advantage, because you can actually put like 1 to 3 templates for the bullish risk to reward tool and the bearish risk to reward tool. So I do like 10 ticks, 10 ticks for 30 or 25 for 75. I got 10 for 60 for 1 to 6. It all depends on the setup and how is it setting up. I mean, am I getting a sweep of a previous day low? Did I get a previous sweep of an 8-hour level? That all determines my risk to reward, but it's mostly a 1 to 3.
And how many trades a day?
No more than, I would say, about 5, bro. No more than about 5.
Jeez, that's quite a lot. And what time period during the day do you trade or session?
London to New York. Yeah.
London to New York. So do you trade New York or just?
I'll just take anything through that, depending on the time frame the time that I come to the chart and I see an opportunity. It's between London and New York time.
Okay. So it's London session only.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the beginning of New York too, when the volatility comes in. If there's opportunity, I'll take that too.
Okay. And what about like your win rate?
The last challenge I did, the win rate was 70% on that one.
Right.
70%.
And what other questions do I need to ask here? How long do your trades often last?
Man, it could be anywhere from 20 minutes to like 7 hours. It all depends on what I'm getting. I mean, if I get a trending setup, I just let it run.
And what markets do you trade?
I trade mostly gold and natural gas. But I mean, of course, I could trade anything, but gold and natural gas is the main two that I focus on.
And natural gas, why did you decide on that?
Man, I had put a trade in, and it was just like, it was real smooth, man. It was real smooth. Yeah, natural gas is real smooth, man. So I was just trading with it, man. And I was like, man, I like it. It was real smooth. So I ended up racking up on it,
Okay.
Yeah, I racked up on it, yes.
And if you had to sort of break your trades up into natural gas versus gold, what does the percentage look like?
I would say 50-50. I would just say 50-50.
Okay, yeah. And your chart setup, do you have like, how many, are you just flipping between charts, or do you have those charts both on the screen at the same time?
Nah, if I do one, I'm only going to focus on one, but I do use multiple time frames.
Okay, cool. Hey, look, folks, there you have it. Ryan with his story of getting to success. So he's not quite there yet as like full-time, quitting his job, trading for a living, but a lot of us are in the same position as well. And it's great to hear somebody who's on the cusp. And I'd love to get you back on in the future to see how you got on. And maybe we'll have some payouts there, and folks, it'll just give you motivation, and you go by Motivated Ryan on Instagram. So that's one place they can find out more about you. Now, what are there any other places you want to send people?
As far as education,
Well, no, just as far as like finding out more from you.
Instagram, man. You can hit me up on Instagram, pretty much. Yeah. Anybody. I mean, if you want to help me get to the next level, got any positive things to share with me, I would love to hear it. I would love. I mean, I'm open to help.
Awesome. Well, look, folks, what we're going to do is hook a link up below this video or in the podcast description. Go and check it out. You'll be able to find his link there, Motivated Ryan on Instagram. And what we're going to do now is jump into a price chart and see what he actually does for a strategy. All right. Video's up here.